They keep saying it's conservatives who are obsessed with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They did this big PR, this big press run where they were like, conservatives are mad that Cortez is dancing. No, nobody was mad that she was dancing. Nobody was mad that Malia Obama had some wine and she's only 20 years old. But and it's not just conservatives that constantly talk about Ocasio-Cortez. Listen, here I am making another video about her, but she is propped up. They said when she got elected, she was the new face of the Democratic Party. They repeatedly do this. There is so much going on with in terms of her influence. And yes, it's likely that she will continue to work in politics and advance in politics. But listen, there's a reason to talk about her because she's newsworthy. And this is not just an opinion of conservatives, because I'm not a conservative, and neither is CNN's Fareed Zakaria. And this is the point. The reason I bring this up is I understand it's kind of ironic to criticize the media constantly talking about the obsession with Cortez, and then the media is constantly obsessed with Cortez. It's true. She's prominent. Someone asked me what I meant when I said she was left-wing Trump. Not that they have the same views. It's just that, the media goes after Trump on almost everything he does because he's the president, right? But also the Trump bump. Well, there is the Ocasio-Cortez bump too. It's a fact. You do a video about Cortez, you do an article about Cortez, you get a ton of traffic. That's not why I'm doing this video, because admittedly, I'd prefer not to have to talk about her all the time. But because she is a snowball rolling down a hill, we get this phenomenon. She's done a bunch of really dumb things. She said a bunch of really dumb things. And listen, she was instrumental in New York losing the Amazon deal. And then after she leads this protest, and then after it happens and everyone, slams her for it, she goes, oh, I didn't even do anything. It had nothing to do with me. Okay, please, look. Now CNN is coming down on Cortez. I'm going to say it. When you get CNN pointing in your direction, you have to realize it's not a conservative phenomenon. You're just crazy. But let's read the story. It's from the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's outlet. Funny, nonetheless. CNN host unloads on AOC, warns about Democrats' rejection of facts. Remember the alternative facts scandal with, I can't remember who said it. It was like a Trump administration thing, alternative facts. Ocasio-Cortez said people are so often more concerned about being, precisely, factually, semantically correct than morally right. What? That's the alternative facts moment. Let's read this. He made sure to infuse his criticism with vague shots at the Republican Party. Yeah. But CNN's Fareed Zakaria had a strong message for the Democratic Party and its new boss, Democratic Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, on his show Sunday. If Democrats continue to embrace feelings over facts and swerve further left, they're going to lead the country into a new dark age. God damn. That's some pretty tough rhetoric. He said, it's refreshing to see the Democratic Party bubbling with new ideas, but its new thinking seems starkly different from the party's reform efforts of the past 3 decades. The wonky proposals of the Clinton-Obama era were pragmatic and incremental and mixed market incentives with government action. Today, we have big, dramatic, stirring ideas, and that could be the problem. In the zeal to match the sweeping rhetoric of right-wing populism, Democrats are spitting out dramatic proposals, indeed. But proposals in which facts are sometimes misrepresented, the numbers occasionally don't add up, and emotional appeal tends to trump actual policy analysis. He then took direct aim at, quote, the future of the Democratic Party, Ocasio-Cortez. When Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was confronted recently by Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes about an egregious misstatement about Pentagon spending, she responded, I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right. Perhaps this casual attitude towards facts explains the way she and many others on the left misrepresented the deal that New York offered Amazon to bring a new headquarters there, he said. Zakaria then played another much critiqued clip from the freshman congresswoman. Okay, listen. Can we drop the narrative? Can we stop acting like there's no reason to talk about her? I love how the left claims that, conservatives are obsessed with Cortez. Sorry, Fareed Zakaria is not a conservative. Neither am I. You have to realize when you prop up Cortez, when you run her through the press, talk about how influential she is, she becomes newsworthy. People then take what she says and run with it. You also need to realize, and I love how the left just ignores this and they don't care, Ocasio-Cortez makes the left look crazy. This is what Fareed Zakaria is basically talking about, whether or not he's addressing the fact that she's smearing the Democrats in general. That's basically what he's saying. Look, he said Democrats are spitting out dramatic proposals. It's Cortez and a small handful of people that are smearing all of the Democrats. There are a lot of conservatives who don't really pay attention to this fact. They just think, wow, she's crazy. But there are a lot of conservatives in leadership positions and in the media who know, you know what? Embrace her and prop her up. Now, I will say this will backfire. I could be wrong, but I vaguely remember there was some kind of memo that got leaked where the Democrats were talking about how they wanted Trump to be the Republican nominee because they thought he couldn't win. And then he did. It was like a Pied Piper strategy or something, get Trump to win, help him, boost him up. One thing you need in order to advance in politics is brand power. You could be the best politician. If no one knows who you are, you're not going to win. Cortez is getting tons of support just because she is becoming famous, or she's really famous now. At the same time, you will convince independents to get away from her, but it's entirely possible. If Republicans screw up, listen, one of the reasons I think there's a lot of reasons why Trump won, but I'll say this. Hillary was an awful candidate. I wouldn't vote for. A lot of people wouldn't vote for. I would have voted for Bernie. Because she didn't win, I sat it out. And now, the left is like, no, you shouldn't. Why would you do it? Listen, Trump is not perfect. And there were a lot of people who voted for him out of spite, because they said, screw Hillary. There were a lot of people who said Hillary stole it from Bernie. The Democrats deserve to lose, right? So it's possible. If the right thinks, we're going to blast her out, make her famous, she'll still get support from crazy people. And if the Republicans screw up, then people are going to be like, you know what? Fine. We'll take the crazy person. I don't know if that's the case. I think there's a lot of data to suggest that Trump is on track for another victory. And even 2024 might go to Republicans. The point is, this could backfire. Sure. Trump may have, I think Trump would have won no matter what because Hillary was just so awful. But I want to point out, the left doesn't seem to recognize this. I tweeted about this, that she's being propped up because she makes the left look crazy, and she does. When you get CNN, the news network of airports far and wide, coming out against the Democrats because of her, you're losing CNN, okay? CNN hates Trump. It's like all they do is rag on Trump, and now they're ragging on you. Welcome to the party. You've done this to yourself. And there are a lot of Democrats who probably, like Bill de Blasio was calling her out. Let's read on. He points out, Bill de Blasio explained, a tax incentive is not cash. The host then called out the irresponsibility of those Democrats calling for Medicare for all, or consider the race by prominent Democrats to embrace Medicare for all, he said. A variety of expert studies have estimated that total increased government spending would be between $2.5 and $3 trillion a year. Few of the many proposals being floated would likely raise anything close to that in revenue. And if a Herculean effort were made to raise revenue for Medicare for all, there would be few easy avenues to fund any of the ambitious proposals on the new Democratic wish list. While he stressed that he believes providing universal health care is an important moral goal, I agree. Zakaria said, the complexity of the U.S. system makes it likely impossible to attain without severe disruption of the economy. The only realistic version, he said, is basically Obamacare with a real mandate. But he noted that those now steering the Democrats would likely dismiss that along with other incremental policies of the past. Yes, the far left call me a reformist. Why? Because I would probably agree with where I probably would agree with where Democrats were 10 years ago, except for the whole killing people overseas part, which is why I typically found myself in the anti-war left camp. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people, actually I would say this, the only thing that likely separates me from the anti-war left is that many people within that sphere are pro-identitarianism, left-wing identitarianism. I'm not. Seriously, the main thing I've criticized Trump for over and over again is missile strike in Syria, weapons deal with Saudi Arabia, commando raids in Yemen, and it's very much the same thing I criticized Obama for. Obama signed the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, which allowed basically rendition of American citizens without charge or trial. Overarching executive authority, the expansion of it has been a big problem. It's something I mainly disagree with, and it's because my world is centered around conflict, crisis, civil unrest, and things of this nature. And I think foreign war, results in blowback on America. And that's not just my opinion, it's the opinion of the CIA as well. I understand there's foreign challenges. I understand that China presents a challenge, and Russia and all these other countries are challenges. We are on an international competitive market. I think I don't believe the ends justify the means. I believe that you will never find them. Look, ultimately, I don't know what the solution is. I know that I'm mostly against war, but what happens? You now have a left that has dominated people with pie-in-the-sky solutions and things that make no sense. Where do I stand? Well, I'm a social liberal for the 50 billionth time I can say it, but there's literally no one I can vote for. I'm in agreement with Fareed Zakaria. This is an excellent a speech about how they've gone crazy. Universal healthcare. He's right. It would be awesome if we could do that. Can we do it? I don't know. And I don't see anyone actually it looks like we can't. It looks like it's way too expensive. The war budget, in my understanding, is something like 500 billion. Not going to be enough. I'm sorry. And that would disrupt the economy, albeit in a way I'd kind of be okay with. But I also recognize the economy is delicate, so it's a tough situation. I never want to sit in a position where you continually take drugs, like I'm using a metaphor here, because, well, withdrawal would be bad. No, sometimes we have to do things and the results can be very difficult. Adults understand this. Children tend not to. They think they can just snap their fingers and have whatever they want. No. Adults recognize you might not be able to actually solve this problem overnight. It may be difficult, but we can come up with reasonable solutions, not just snapping our fingers and putting forth a Green New Deal, which offers Medicare for everybody. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to end now by saying, when you get CNN against you, I think the narrative is clear. You are crazy, plain and simple. Maybe not crazy, but you just don't know what you're talking about. Stick around. I got more videos coming up in just a few minutes.